Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I hope that everyone here is excited to learn about Amazon FBA wholesale because you probably have never heard about it. Maybe you have, maybe some of you have. I'm sure you've heard about private label way more. So let's talk about wholesale. Okay. And this is without China. And that's the beauty of it. The beauty of this is we don't deal with China. And I'm trying to sound like Donald Trump, but no China. Okay. This is simply domestic in your country, right? I'm selling in the US, so I'm finding suppliers in the US. I don't want to deal with import export. I don't want to deal with customs, especially when you're selling all sorts of products, right? So we don't want to deal with over the border. We want to just leverage within the country. So let's get going. The agenda for today, we're going to talk a little bit about me, show you what I do, show you how I got into this, and I want to show you some of my students who are doing really well, balancing this with their 9 to 5s, balancing this with full-time school, and just killing it because they have a vision and they want to accomplish that. We'll get into some common questions and some answers about FBA wholesale, just so you guys can really understand the concept of what it is that wholesale is. I know you have a lot of burning questions of, can I do this anywhere? I've seen a lot of that already. What can I do today to grow this? Is it drop shipping? There's so many notions that you may have that I want to clear up right away. Then I like to always start with mindset, long-term mindset, how to manage your time properly when you're dealing with life and jobs and school and family and so on. And then the psychology of money. I'm a huge growth development guy. I did not get to where I am right now if it wasn't for being a long term thinker. If I wasn't reading books and trying to grow my state of mind and my mindset and just being able to see what's out there for the taking, right? So the foundation is so important. And I'm going to talk about that a bit because that's what I always go over with any coaching student, with anyone, whoever wants to get into anything. Don't even think about Amazon. If you want to get into anything, if you want to be a crypto trader, which is not the best time to be, but if you wanted to do anything in this world, the foundation has to be super strong. Once we're dealing with that, once we've dealt with that, once we go over that, I want to talk about the different models on Amazon because you've probably heard about the different types of models: arbitrage, private label, wholesale. So we're going to see which one is right for you depending on what position you're in. Okay. Then we're going to go into Amazon FBA wholesale and how I think you can get started and why I think it's the best, right? Why it's the quickest and easiest way to make a profit in the Amazon world. Then what it takes to get to 6K a month in profits. Okay. I get all my students to start off with $1,000, but how do they scale to 6K a month in profits? And how do they actually make this into a real business? Why Amazon wholesale is still and will be a great model in the coming years, and how AMZ Scout can help you in your venture, in your product research, and into actually helping you create this business. Once we're done talking about all this, we're going to go into a Q&A. We have a special offer for you guys right at the end as well. So for whoever stays at the end, I will be answering all of your questions. I'm already seeing some of your messages and your questions. So stay till the end with me, and we have something special for everyone here. This is the second time that I'm doing this with AMZ Scout. The last time was sometime last year. And I probably told myself that I wasn't going to do this again. And AMC Scout reached out to me and they said, let's do this. Let's get this going one more time. And I said, okay, I'll do it one more time. But because my offer is usually so good in these webinars that I don't like to do it because it's just a little too special, a little too, like, it's a little too much. And, I figured, like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour here talking to you guys and I can give you guys something of special at the end. Okay. So let's go into this. Before we start, okay, I want you to understand that if at the end, okay, there's going to be a giveaway. Going to be a giveaway. This is from me because 2 lucky attendees from this webinar will get access to my essentials package. Okay. This is part of my private Telegram group with all of my coaching students. So you can see their progress. You can see, all the questions they ask. You can ask me any questions in your journey for that full month, and I can help you literally get to the next step because you're asking me questions. I'm in that chat answering all the questions. And so it's like we're a little team there. Aside from that, we have a Google Drive with 300 plus suppliers and full of resources. I'm going to show you guys this at the end as well because I want you to see what the Telegram group looks like. I want you to see what the Google Drive looks like. It's full of templates for purchase orders, invoices, a CRM I've built for you to keep track of suppliers, templates to deal with Amazon. There's a lot of stuff in the Google Drive that I've accumulated over the last year or two to just make everyone's life easier, right? It's in there for you to be able to kickstart and get a head start into just focusing on the most important things like finding products, calling suppliers. And so 2 lucky attendees at the end of this will get access to the Telegram group and the Google Drive if you stay till the end of the call. So I really hope that you do. AMZ Scout, on top of what I'm offering, is also going to give you a sheet or a kind of like a package of potential niches with low competition for you to almost have like a cheat sheet, right? So this is for you to have a cheat sheet, look to what's hot in Q3 so you can actually, start off really strong. You could look at what people are searching and what people might be looking for in Q3. I think this is super cool. I'm going to show you some of AMZ Scouts like niches and what they do in terms of research, because this is something I haven't seen in any other tool. They actually do research for you and they put out reports and they put out like newsletters almost of like trending products and products that are doing really well, and they reference Google trends, they reference their own data that they collect from Amazon. So I haven't seen anyone else do this. It's super cool, and I'll show it to you once we go through AMZ Scout as well. But let's get into the bulk of things. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nick Milani. I am 28 years old, and I have a master's of engineering, believe it or not, in innovation and entrepreneurship. Okay, and so I can only imagine how many people here have been told, go to school, get a degree, get a super awesome job that you'll have to go to from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day of your life and work up the ladder and hope for the best. I can only imagine how many of you guys were in the same boat as me, right? And I don't blame my parents. They were immigrants to Canada, and to them it was a big deal. My dad was actually an entrepreneur, but he always thought that I would have a better life if I could just get an education and get a job, right? And I did that. I listened to him. I went through 4 years of engineering, and I think there's someone here, Irshad. You know me. Yeah, we did civil engineering together. So it's so funny because I decided to go somewhere else. I did civil engineering, and then I was like, look, I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't want to live a regular life. I don't want to live this life of everyday grinding, go home, go to work, go home, go to work. Someone's an electrical engineer here. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So believe it or not, I decided to go do a master's of engineering, and for shame me into doing more school. I did it because it was innovation and entrepreneurship. There was more involved and it was a little more business oriented. But actually, the reason I did it is because school allows you to experiment. When you're in school, you're allowed to experiment. You don't have a job. No one expects of you to pay the bills. Your parents are probably like, oh, he's still studying school. Like he's so stressed or she's so stressed. There's exams coming up. Let's leave them alone. So I took advantage of those 2 extra years and I was like, this is my time to figure out what I want to do for the next 10 years, or I'm going to have an average life that I'm just going to live a day-to-day life of working and going up the ladder. So I was very, very critical with those 2 years, and I made sure I experimented. I tried so many different things to get to e-commerce, and then I went all in. So I just want this to be a little bit of like like I hope you can relate here, because I'm sure some of you are in school, some of you actually have jobs, some of you want career changes, right? So it's just a matter of putting yourself in a situation to actually do that. Okay? Like tell yourself and envision that you want something different. You want a better life. You want a life with more freedom so you can travel like me and live. And, if you want to take an extra hour in the morning to work out because you're really crushing your workout, you can do that without having to email someone and say, hey, I'm going to be late. This is your life. This should be your career. So definitely you can balance it if you focus on learning from the right people and focus on relating with people who have done what you're trying to do. Okay. So let's move on here because I've been talking a lot about myself. I just want to show you that these are some of the sales that I've done on Amazon. You can see here on the left that in 30 days, I managed to do $119,000 in sales with wholesale alone, right? I do wholesale, but I also do private label a little bit. I look at myself as graduating to private label, and I'll show you that mountain in that graduation. So $120,000 is no joke, like it's a big number. I love it, and it's something that you guys can achieve as well if you focus and if you're able to actually put in the work and know how to work smart. On the right here, you can see some profits because I know I make content on TikTok, and trust me, everyone messages me saying, okay, what your revenue numbers are great, but what are your profits? Right? So I'm showing you the profits as well. You can see some of my, like, this is a highlight, this is a story on my Instagram where I post a lot of content. You can see here that, I'm making $700 US. This is USD, by the way, in gross profit in one day, right? And then at the bottom, you can see as well the day after was about $800, right? So these are like typical days. These are typical days if you're doing really, really well and staying consistent, right? Going into my students, okay? This right here is my private Telegram group that I want to show you later on as well. You can see there are 31 members. Like, it's super intimate, right? Because this is a group for my coaching students. These are like one-on-one coaching students who literally mentor for 3 months, okay? And these guys here, like, you can see Juan here. Like, I asked him, how's your progress so far? And he's like chugging along, hitting about 7 to 8K a month. Like, that's super, super cool. I love when I see students do super well. And you can see that he started to make a little bit of sales in January, and then February hit, and then March just went crazy, right? We actually stopped working together in January, right? And I always like to see students make some money while we're still working, but he took the learnings, he took my advice, and he just went like crazy, 7, 8K a month. And his goal is to hit 10K a month, I think, this month. Yeah, because we're in June. So yeah, he told me 10K is his goal for June. And then on the right here, I don't know if you can see that. The numbers are a little small, but one of my students was absolutely crushing it, doing $8,000 in one day. This is revenue, by the way. Don't think that it's profit, but $8,000 in revenue is crazy, especially if we're looking at 20%, 30% profit margin, right? So an $8,000 day means like $1,600 in profit. Like, that's pretty nuts. On the lower end, like, I'd say 15%. Talking $1,000 in one day. So it's pretty nuts. Like, my students are absolutely crushing it. Like, and this is just like proof of just, if you are in the right mindset and if you're willing to take the learning and take it to the next level, like, nothing's stopping you. This is no job where a boss tells you no, not today, like, no promotion for you today or in the next year. This is literally you. Output equals, like, or input equals output. Like, literally what you put in, you can get out. So it's a matter of how much drive and hustle you have and learn the people to be able to take it to the next level. Let me quickly share my social media with you guys, because I want you guys to know that I do this for real. And I live a decent life, guys. Like, this is not the life that I imagined when I was in engineering. Maybe it was, but let's just say I wasn't on the right trajectory when I was in engineering. Okay, so on my Instagram, you can see my digital nomad lifestyle. I'm in Lisbon all June. I was in Amsterdam 3 weeks before that, and then I go to Italy all of July. So follow me. I would love for you guys to follow me and connect with me and message me. Tell me that you're at this webinar, and hopefully, we can connect. And if you guys are really serious about starting this journey, then I'm sure we'll connect even in real life because the community is pretty small. I'm sure if you're serious about this, even my students, the students that do really well, like I go visit them because they're killing it, and we're in the same world. So like why not meet each other? We're essentially colleagues and people in the same world. So there's always stuff to learn from everyone, and there's events where we meet each other. On the right here is TikTok. So I put out actual content on, you know, tricks and like selling strategies and products that are doing really well, softwares that I use that take me to the next level, some risks involved, and so on. How to pick the right category, tips and tricks on the TikTok. And you can find both Instagram and TikTok at Nikki Nixter. So hope to connect, hope to see you guys in the social outside of this webinar. Let's dive into the common questions and answers. I think everyone is pretty amazed at some of the numbers I was showing. Action is the only thing required. That is absolutely right. Honestly, it's about learning, taking action, and managing risk. And literally, you're golden. Those three things are that's it. But the hard part is actually doing it, right? Learning. Okay, like being a lifelong learner. Every day you should learn something new. All right, let's do this. Is this drop shipping? No, it's not drop shipping. This is not drop shipping because we are actually purchasing inventory and sending it to Amazon. Okay, drop shipping is where we get people to purchase and then we get the supplier to send to the buyer. Okay, we buy the products essentially and get the inventory sent to the customer only after when people buy. But in Amazon FBA, we have to buy the products. We have to send it to the FBA centers, to the Amazon warehouses, right? So it's a real business. Do we use Alibaba or AliExpress? In Amazon FBA wholesale, we do not. Okay. Like I said, we do everything domestically in the country, right? We do everything in the US. Let's just say, for example, because you can do this in Mexico, you can do this in Canada, you can do this in the UK, in Spain. But we don't use Alibaba and AliExpress because AliExpress is drop shipping. Alibaba is buying bulk, usually from China, but there are other countries. But that's more about building a brand. Okay, we are buying and selling big brand name products like Dove shampoo, Head and Shoulders, like Tylenol. These are big brand name products. Is this about selling books on Amazon? No, no, this is not about selling books on Amazon. We are buying big brand name products, not books. We're buying, home and kitchen supplies. We're buying. You can buy appliances if you want. You can buy vitamins, but the stuff that people are already buying in store, but now they're buying in Amazon. Do I need to learn advertising or how to build a website or be a tech wizard? No, you don't. The beauty of Amazon FBA wholesale is that we're meeting demand. We're looking at these products that people already purchase, and we're looking at room for us to come in and take a slice of that pie. When you're meeting demand, when people are already searching Tylenol every day, every hour, in fact, you don't need to advertise. We're simply taking a slice of the pie that is already being sold. We don't need to build a website because we're on Amazon, and you don't need to be a tech wizard. You just need to learn how to use Amazon. That's it. Next question. Do I need to live in the US? You do not. You can be anywhere. You can be a citizen of almost 80% of all countries in the world and still be able to sell in the US if you wanted to. There's a list that I will share later on of what country you have to be in technically to be able to sell in the US. But this model can be done in the US from anywhere, or this can be done literally like in Amazon Europe, Amazon Australia. Okay. Do I need to have prior experience? Not really. No. I mean, the only experience I say you need is just being friendly with the computer, right? You don't necessarily need like anything special, but hey, if you have some sales skills, if you're good on the phone, kudos. That's better. You'll have a leg up. If you've sold on Amazon before, also good because Amazon's interface will be a little easier. But all of those things are learnable. I did it in 4 months, 3 months of just learning and trial and error, and you start selling. If there's a reason, if there's a will, there's a way. So you don't need much experience, but of course, in anything, some experience can get you started a lot quicker. Do I need to be passionate about what I sell? This is a question a lot of people ask. You don't. Okay. And it's so interesting because you build passion for something that sells really well. Okay. Like I was selling prenatal vitamins. Okay. I don't know who knows what that is here, but they're like vitamins for pregnant women. Okay. I have zero idea what that is. I have zero idea what, like, I'm not a woman, first of all. And second of all, I am not pregnant. And so I have zero idea what it is. But like, I looked at the data and it's selling well. I looked at the data, it passed my checklist. I looked at the people selling it. I looked through the whole criteria that I've put together and I'm like, this is a great selling product. Once I put it into the market, it made me tens of thousands of dollars. And I was like, I love prenatal vitamins. I am super passionate about prenatal vitamins. So, this is like something that is e-commerce relevant. If anyone is sold in e-commerce, like you're not necessarily always passionate about what you sell, but you start to gain passion for things like that because at the end of the day, we're data driven. We look at data. Okay, do I need to invest a lot of time into this? Not a lot, not a lot at all. Again, this goes back to the prior experience. If you're able to put in more time, then great. You'll be able to, reap the rewards and be able to, like see the fruits of your labor a lot quicker. But you can pace this. A lot of my students, when they do coaching with me, I only get them to do 4 hours, 4 hours a week to get stuff done, to learn. There's a learning curve. So, beside your job, beside your family, beside other responsibilities, you want to take your time. But some people are more eager. So if you can spend a little more time, then great. But I would say 5 to 10 hours a week is really all you need. And then if you want to push in more, then great. Okay, guys, I want to hear a little bit from you as I take a sip of water here. I know a lot of you have already asked a few questions here, but what's the biggest question you want answered in this webinar? Okay, I think this will help me answer some of those questions as I go along with the subjects. And that's why I probably haven't really answered you guys yet, because I want to get to those subjects and then answer you. So write down some of the questions you have, and I will get to them as we go on, or I will get to them at the end. If you have any questions now, great. If you have more questions as we go on, then even better. So I'm giving you a minute here to do it, and then we can move on. Okay. Got some questions coming in. Inflation is killing us all. Ugh, tell me about it. I paid $15 in New York for a bagel. I don't know why that's stuck in my mind, but it's ridiculous. That's all I think about when I go to sleep. I paid $15 for a lox bagel. And this was like over a month ago. Okay, I'm seeing some questions come in. Great, awesome. I'm gonna answer all of this stuff as we go on and at the end as well. Let's get going though. Yeah. Yep, it was a bagel. All right, guys, let's think long term here, okay? Let's set the foundation. Again, this is relevant to anything you want to do, okay? you want to do Amazon, you want to go start your real estate license, whatever you want to do in life, you have to think long term. Okay. Why start a business? Why do e-commerce? Why do you want financial and location freedom? What would you do differently if you had it? Okay. These are all super important questions. And it's usually just a why. Why? Because sure, you can say, I want financial freedom, I want location freedom, I want money, I want to live, I want, to do what I want when I want. But dig a little deeper. Peel the layer of the onion. Why do you want that? And what would you do with it? Make that into a reality. Okay. For me, it was I want to be financially and location free, like everyone here. But why do I want that? Because I'm the best version of myself when I'm around the people I love and I'm able to do the things that I want with the people I love. Right? Like that to me is life, like some people want to change the world. Some people want to, start a business and be able to fix world hunger. And trust me, like those are all noble moves. And to be honest, I would love to do that as well once I'm in the position to do it. But initially, and this is something I read in a book, people need to take care of themselves first before they're able to give to other people and to the world. This could be emotional, this could be psychological, but this is also financially. This is also like your aspirations. Like you need to take care of you before you can take care of other people. So for me, I started to dig into why I want this. Why, like, what is whatever I get into, in this case, e-commerce and more specifically Amazon, what is that? Like, why should I spend countless hours doing it and making sure that I'm gonna do it? Making sure that like I'm not just gonna try it, I'm gonna do it. There's a difference between, oh, let's see what happens, and it is and like I'm gonna make this happen. Right? There's a difference between that. Okay. Daniel says, I want to be financial and location free because I want to experience other cultures, learn from different people, see the world, travel with my wife, and collect experiences. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's exactly it, you know? And if you can go one layer deeper than that, do it. Why do you want those things? Is that something you want to share with your future kids? Is that something you want to be able to share with, your family? Like, do you think that brings you enlightenment and it brings you fulfillment to be able to do those things? Like, dig deeper. And I'm not saying this to just dig deeper, but like when you start to put these things into thought and even writing, it becomes clear, it becomes real. You're putting it into like a manifestation, you're putting it into the universe, and I think that's just super, super, super powerful, because you need things to be clear in your mind. If you're never clear, if you're always like, I just want something in that nebulous world, it's hard for the universe to give you that because the universe doesn't know what you want and you're just hoping for the best. But if you have a vision, that vision can be done, can be attained. Okay. Let's move on from here. Let's think long term though. Okay. So write down these questions and revisit them 1, 3, 6, 12 months from now. So you can always look at it. Okay. You can always understand why you started something. Everything new is exciting. Okay. But what you need to remind yourself is why you got into this in the first place. Okay. Daniel has it super clear, right? Daniel, if you write that down and print it out, you have to look at it 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road. Because right now, everyone is so excited. Everyone's looking at the profit numbers, everyone's looking at the revenue numbers. I'm excited because those are my numbers. Those are real, and like it's exciting when they're your numbers. It's exciting when you wake up and you're able to look at your phone and see those numbers. But 6 months down the road, when you're not at those numbers yet, you have to remind yourself. You have to remind yourself why you got into this. And that's why this is so important. This is foundation. Okay. This is foundation. Marcia, I want to be financially free so that I can help myself, my family, and others who are in need. Love that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But did you notice that you said myself first? And that's important. because you need to help yourself first before anyone else. You know, in the airplanes where they tell you to throw on the mask first before you help anyone else. I hate to sound super cheesy, but that's very relevant. Super relevant, because you have to do you first. You have to focus on yourself before you can help anyone else. Okay, so I want to leave you with this quote as well, because this is huge and this is something that helped me a lot. Okay, people overestimate what they can accomplish in 3 months, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 3 years. 3 years sounds like a long time, guys. But if you think about COVID, COVID has been around for longer than 3 years, or almost. But point is, those 3 years flew by. Like, in my mind, I still think we're in 2020. You know, I can't believe we're like in 2022 and like pretty much halfway past 22. You know, so 3 years fly by, guys. If you're able to just put in the reps in like a workout, you know, if you just focus on the day to day and put in the reps, learn, make sure you're getting in half an hour of work, an hour of work a day, and focus on today and just do consistently. In 3 years, guys, like you'll be where I am, if not even further. Right? I started Amazon 4 years ago. 4 years ago, right? I saw crazy progress like in my third year, in my second and third year. That's when I started to see consistent numbers. But you know, I made $100,000, I'd say in profit a little over a year into it, right? Because I was in school, I was crushing it. You know what I mean? I had time. I was doing it with my master's, and my master's was a business master's, so it was like hand in hand. But just remember, people overestimate what they can do in 3 months. People want a passive income stream. People want things to move really quickly. So then, you know, they build an e-commerce business in three months, and then okay, let me go get my real estate license now, and then let me go get my doctorate, and then let me go, you know, invest everything in NFTs. Like, guys, you got to focus, just have vision, and know that things take time. Okay, our world is about patience, is about process, and it's also about just being grateful. Okay, these three things together, this is what it's about. Okay, that's my mantra almost. It's patience, process, okay, and feeling good about what you're doing. Let's get on. I know you guys are going to focus on that. I know a lot of people here, they want financial freedom. I'm seeing it in the chats. I, I'm happy it resonated with you, Brownie. I really do see that people are yeah, patience is important. Absolutely. Okay, guys, time management. Okay, time management is super important for everyone who has a life. If you're in school, if you're have a job, you know, what does a typical day look like in your life? Okay, do you work? Do you study? What responsibilities do you have? Who and what do you surround yourself with? Again, I hate to sound cliche because I'm sure, like, you know, you hear a lot of this stuff where you're like, you know, you surround yourself around people, you're going to be the average of those people, but those people are cliche for a reason because it's true. It's really, really, really true, right? But with time management, the reason I bring this up is because you need to know where your time is going, guys. If you're just hoping for the best, again, and you don't have a clear vision of where your time's going, you know, aside from your clear vision of your outcome, then your time is it's being taken away from you. Like, you'll be on your phone, someone will come to your desk, say hi, they'll say, hey, you want to go for a coffee? You'll say, sure. I mean, yeah, what the heck? Like, it's, you know, it's 10 minutes, you know, because you're not managing your time the way you should be. And so then at the end of the day, you said, I hope I had more time in the day. Right. And that's just because you're not planning yourself. Right. And don't get me wrong, like, I get distracted. People come to me and I'll give in and go for a coffee or take a walk. But at least knowing that my day is planned, and even though I'm sacrificing some time to go out, when I come back, I'll know I'll have to play catch up. I know I'll have to do certain things quicker and faster, and I know what I have to do before I can say, okay, I'm gonna go home now. Okay, so be real with yourself. Track your phone usage. This is a big one. The reason I bring this one up specifically is because we're all addicted to our phones now. Like there's no lying about it. Like there was a phase where I tried going on my phone only like an hour after I wake up and an hour, like I tried to have an hour before and after I wake up and like before I sleep. But it's almost impossible now. Like it's crazy how addicting it is. And I feel like we're all giving in, right? So point is that our phones are so addictive and we wake up with them and we sleep with them. But just the only thing you can do right now is just track your phone usage. There's like, all the iPhones and I think Androids have these features where you can see where your time's going. And I'm sure most of us it's Instagram and TikTok. If not, then good for you. Kudos to you. Because most of us are trapped by these social media apps. But if you're able to track and see where most of your time goes during the day, in the week, then you can at least be conscious of where your time's going. Okay. So you can start this business. You need to really change your environment and you really need to start using less and less like distractions, less distractions. Okay. Because I know you're balancing work, you're balancing this with your job, but if there's one thing that you can change today to create more time to be able to build this business for you guys, it's probably the phone, right? So if you're able to put the phone down and spend 3 hours extra on a business like this, that's the idea. The idea is how do we find time in your busy schedule, and it's probably sucked up in your phone. So that's the first thing I want you guys to look into. Okay, guys, psychology of money. This is the last thing, and then we're going to dive right into Amazon. Okay, I just love talking about this stuff because it's so important, and I really hope that you guys start to understand that if this stuff isn't in place, if you're not thinking like logically and with a good mindset, then like anything, you're just going to drop off. You won't see the success that you want to see. Okay, and I'm a coach, but I'm also a person who believes in this stuff, like because this is the stuff that changed my perspective. This is the stuff that changed my mindset to be like, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm not gonna just try and make it happen. Okay, so let's talk about psychology of money. We all have different relationships, right, with money. Money is a scary thing or a beautiful thing. It's really dependent on how we were raised with it, how our upbringing was, and how we treated money and how our parents treated money, right? Some people treated money by hiding it under a mattress. Some people threw money in the air and thought very abundant about it. So no matter what your relationship is with money, because it is a touchy subject, I want you to have an abundance. And I know you want to have an abundance. So, in order to have an abundance of money, you have to not think about hoarding money. You have to use money as a tool. Okay. Money is a tool to help you do this. Money is a tool to help you learn and become smarter. Once you learn and become smarter, you can use that knowledge to free up time. Okay. Once you free up time, you're able to make more money. Okay. So I want you guys to understand this. This is something I learned in a podcast and it just blew me out of the waters because everyone is thinking, where can I make money? Where's the money? What's the money move? Like what's the best place to be to make the most money? But guys, you're asking that question because you haven't learned, because you haven't gathered the knowledge. So if you're spending money on learning every day, if you can learn, if you can take a course, if you can take, if you can hire a coach, if you can go to school, if all these different things. I mean, everything is online now. So like, sure, you'll have to pay for some courses and stuff, but learning should be your number one responsibility. It should be your number one priority. Once you learn, you're starting to learn how to free up your time, right? You learn, oh, I can hire someone from the Philippines for $4 an hour. No way. I can literally put my money into products and sell them on Amazon and make money while I'm sleeping? No way. You understand? Like, you're learning to free up your time. You're learning to hire people and delegate to free up your time and be smarter with your time. You're not working for time, you're being smarter with your time. So once we learn, once we free up time, then it's obvious that we can make more money, because if we have more time, we can go get another job. That's on the goal, but you're freeing up time so you can then do more learning even and make more money, right? So this is the cycle, guys. This is the cycle of truth. This cycle is insane. Like, I love coming back to this because I'm literally always reminding myself, what's the top priority? Oh yeah, learning. This is why you read before you sleep. This is why you prioritize getting in 10 pages a day, because the more you learn, the more you understand other people's psychologies, the more you go through this cycle and you can make more money. It's all up here. Guys. It's all up here. All right, guys. I hope that foundation was strong. I really hope that was strong. I hope you're motivated to get your foundation in order to start your venture. And we're talking about Amazon today. Amazon is the number one marketplace in the world. Okay. I got into Amazon in 2018, and it's just crazy to look at. Like, my thought was like, yeah, like Amazon's not going anywhere. Like, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And they've been opening up a new marketplace, like in a new country, like every 4 or 5 months. Like they're in Egypt and Dubai now and the Middle East, not to mention New Zealand, Australia. Like they're everywhere, right? And it's only going to get more and more. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. And the beauty of it is that once you know Amazon, that skill, that way of making money, like literally the learnings of knowing how to use Amazon, it's transferable, because Amazon is one platform, right? So if they open up one in Madagascar, like, you'll be able to take advantage of that because you know how to use Amazon, right? Like, I can start selling on in Amazon Middle East tomorrow if I wanted to. It's just about time and resources, right? So I hope everyone is still excited to learn about Amazon now. Let's see what people are saying. Social media consumes all my time and drains my energy. Tell me about it. I know if you're learning cool stuff, then that's one thing. But if you're just watching people's stories, then that's very, very draining. Absolutely. Focus is the master. It changes things. Absolutely. Focus is everything, guys. If you try to juggle 1,000 different things, like school, real estate license, your e-commerce website and all this, like, it just, you're not going to succeed at everything. You're going to do mediocre at everything. Try and focus on three things tops. Three things tops, guys. Okay, shall we get started here? Shall we get started? Let's do it. A lot of people are asking about Amazon wholesale specifically, so I'm going to leave those questions. I'm going to answer those questions as we get through. Some people are asking, do you need a license? Are going to be violations? So these are all great questions. We're going to go through them once we start talking about Amazon wholesale. Let's get into it, guys. Okay, so different models on Amazon. The first one is retail and online arbitrage. Okay, this is probably the easiest one you can get started with, but it's very, very time consuming. Retail arbitrage is essentially when you go into a store to be able to find products at a discount. Let's just say Marshalls, okay, or Winners. These are stores that sell discounted products, or like almost like an outlet. Especially if you go into like their makeup section or their home section, you can see a lot of products that, like colognes and kitchen stuff, that are discounted, right? Or even, let's say, Rectol or CVS, Shoppers Drug Mart. They actually have a little small aisle always that is a sale aisle, and you can find stuff that is discounted. The way to do retail arbitrage is you take your Amazon app on your phone and you're able to scan the barcodes of these products to then just do the arbitrage, to look to see if you can buy it cheaper at the store and sell it online on Amazon, to make that to make the profit of flipping it from real stores to online on Amazon. The reason why I don't like this is because you're physically, literally have to go into these stores. It's not a good return on your time. Okay, you literally have to go in, and what? Like, you'll find something, you'll be able to buy the 4 pieces that are on the shelf. Like, it's not a great model, but if you're young, and if you're like, I see a lot of young kids do this because they have the energy, they want to like get practice in, and it's attainable, then yeah, do it. But for us who want to travel more and have different things in life, and have responsibilities, like, you can definitely try it, but I don't recommend it, and I'll tell you why in a second. Online arbitrage, before I move on, is the same thing, except you're doing it from website to website. So you're buying from Walmart and you're sending it to Amazon, right? The one thing you have to keep in mind, it's retail store to retail store. So the margins will be thin, and you're always looking to see if there's like a sale or a discount going on. So this isn't like a real business, to be honest. This is just trying to flip products. You're just looking to see if there's a discrepancy between one retailer and the other retailer, right? So I don't completely recommend it, but I'll show you why in a sec. And if you want to do it, then great. Daniel says you can also go online websites and look for the discount of the day, and then buy it and send it to Amazon. Absolutely. Like, you can do that, but does that not sound time consuming? Does that not sound like, you know, like, it just, to me, it's just like flipping or flip things. Okay, guys. So Daniel, if you have any websites, yeah, definitely recommend it. I mean, some people want to start that way, and that's totally fine. Wholesale, guys, this is why we're all here. Okay, so instead of going from store to store and actually looking for products that we're looking, okay, like, this is like a little discount, like, let me take this and now flip it on Amazon and make $10 and be happy. Instead of doing that, we're going to be looking at the distributor or the actual supplier of that product, right? Think about it this way. How did Rexall end up with that product? How did CVS, how did, Winners, Marshalls, how did these guys end up with these products? Who did they buy from? That is the concept of wholesale. They purchased from a distributor. They purchased from a supplier who sells to retailers. Okay, and we are the retailers. We're doing the exact same thing. So that's one model. I'm going to obviously dive into this a little deeper, but that is the next step. Wholesale is, instead of buying from the store and hoping for a flip, you're going to go and buy it at wholesale. So the price is a lot more discounted, and you can buy them in bulk. You can buy 50 at once. You can buy 100 at once. You can buy 1,000. Okay. The next thing is private label. This is the one I was talking about earlier that most people have probably heard of. This is a model that essentially is built around creating a brand. You're building a brand here from scratch, which is not an easy task. You're building a brand around a product that you've hopefully innovated, changed it up a bit, maybe changed the colors, the size. If you even wanted to change, let's say, the shape of it, you would have to spend thousands of dollars to create a new mold. Okay. And I can tell you this with confidence because I'm in the middle of doing this myself. I want to change something and make it a little more different, so it's not just a Me Too product on Amazon. And anything I want to change other than the color, like, even if I want the logo to like pop out of the product a little bit, which is called emboss, or sorry, it's called deboss, when like the product is like a little 3D and it comes out. They're like, okay, you got to pay us $1,200. We have to create a new mold, and it's like, ugh, like, I don't want to spend $1,200 just on creating a mold on a product that I'm testing. Like, it's private label is a real business. It's a real brand. It's a real task. And I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying there's a lot of components to it. Product packaging, product manufacturing, product labeling, transportation from one country to another country, freight forwarding, literally getting it into Amazon and then starting with 0 reviews. You start with 0 reviews on the 40th page of a certain keyword, and it's your job to get to the first page and build reviews and get the customers to trust your product and pick your product over other people's products. So those were the 3 models. And then the last model that I like to talk about as well is drop shipping Amazon. Okay. This is when customers place an order, then you send the order to your supplier, and then the supplier prepares and ships it to the customer. This is traditional drop shipping like on Shopify, but on Amazon, the way it works is that you're literally listing things you might find from like Walmart.com. And then when someone buys it, you're then going to go order it on Walmart.com and send it with the customer's address. So they're going to get a box that says Walmart.com, even though they bought it from Amazon, which is a big no-no. Okay, this is a big no-no, and this is what I wanted to show you because this is against the terms of service of Amazon. There's a lot of drop shipping offers right now of like, hey, let us create you a drop shipping automation store on Amazon. I'm sure you've heard drop shipping automation. This is a big no-no because I have a lot of people who have literally done well in the first 3 months and they're like, this is great. And then Amazon flags their store doing this for like sending Walmart and eBay packages to someone who bought something off Amazon. And then they suspend your account and put a hold on all of your money in your balance. And let me tell you, when someone is using their credit card to buy products and is relying on that balance in Amazon to be given out to them so they can pay off the credit card, Amazon puts a hold on your account and you have $50,000 in debt and you're like, oh my God, is Amazon going to release his money? But Amex is like, I want my money. You're gonna stay up for a couple nights. You're gonna have a few nightmares. So again, don't fall for short-term businesses that literally seem a little too good to be true. If you want a real business, you got to put some work in. And you got to do it the real way, like it's been happening for the last hundreds of years. Simple retail, right? Buying from distributors, selling on Amazon as a retailer. Okay. Let me illustrate what I think of these models. And I'm not going to show you drop shipping because I don't think it's a great one. Okay. I don't think drop shipping is a model you guys should do. It's risky. It's not worth it. This here is a mountain. Okay. Think of it as Mount Everest. I think arbitrage is a model that you can do and you can grow and you can get into and start off. But wholesale is something that you want to ultimately get into because it's just a bigger model, money quicker, it's a real business. Private label is climbing Mount Everest. Okay, private label is the top of the mountain and it's going to take some time and expertise to get into. Okay, guys. So I think if you really have a lot of time, arbitrage is cool. Wholesale is where it's at. And once you get into wholesale and learn to make some money, I advise doing private label, but take it step by step. Which model is right for you? Well, if you have a lot of time and not a lot of money, and I'm talking like less than $1,000, then arbitrage is your model. Okay, less than $1,000. If you're playing with less than $1,000 and you have a lot of time, go into stores and scan products and get a taste of what that's like. If you don't have a lot of time but you have a lot of money, then wholesale is your model. Okay, $1,000 to $3,000 is all you need. Okay, you're buying $800, $1,000 worth of products, testing it out, and seeing if it flies. If you want to diversify, have 3 products in, then you're spending like $2,400. and you're diversifying and you're actually building a business. If you have a lot of time and a lot of money, 5 to 15,000 bucks, then do private label. And I say a lot of time because there's a lot of hoops to jump through and there's a lot of learning curves. Be prepared to not make your money back in, you know, 8 to 10 months. So really understand what you're getting yourself into. But my advice always is do wholesale, then after a year, get into private label because you're making money, you're learning Amazon, then you can scale up a little better. 1 to 3 can create 6K profit. Yeah, I mean, well, initially, 1 to 3K can not necessarily create you 6K profit, but you're building it. It's not like for with 1 and 3K you're going to be able to make 6,000. The whole point is that you start off with 1 to 3,000, and then with positive return on your investment, you're able to pile money up to diversifying for the business to 6K a month. Okay. My recommendations are this. I'm not a fan of arbitrage, as I've mentioned before, because it's not a good investment of your time. Start with wholesale to get a taste of selling products online, get familiar with Amazon and the logistics. Then in 12 to 24 months, get into private label. Why not? Build a brand. And the beauty of building a brand is that there are aggregators out there that are buying businesses for 6 to 8 figures. Okay, these aggregators are not in a great shape right now due to us potentially getting into a recession, but a lot of these aggregators also don't really know what it's like to run Amazon businesses, so they're kind of just burning through cash. But they're still buying businesses because that's how they make money. They make money by generating revenue, making profit, and owning more brands on Amazon. That's their goal. They're trying to become a Johnson and Johnson. They're trying to become a P&G, right? So if you build a private label after with some experience and you actually build a private label that's doing good and makes profit, then you can sell it for big money. Okay, guys, let's get into Amazon FBA wholesale, and I can tell you exactly how that works. Um, Daniel says, I'm doing private label, but I'm here to learn wholesale. Awesome. I mean, that's awesome because private label is a good model, but wholesale is honestly what makes me my living, what makes me more money. So definitely, if you're doing one, you should be doing the other. But advice is always to do wholesale first and then get into private label. Eric asks, what are the legal steps for selling wholesale? We'll get into that. Unable to source from distributors, don't worry. That is something that is talked about as well, but also one of the tips and tricks. But yeah, like I think everyone is here. Everyone is still listening. Everyone's doing good. Let's see. Okay, I think we're okay. Let's continue here and I can answer more questions. Um, if there's anything we're talking about and I miss a question, then just simply write it in the chat and we can start talking about it right away if it's relevant to the topic. But let's look at this analogy, guys. Let's look at this analogy. Victoria really quickly asks, can we get the recording of this webinar? I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think AMC Scout will be giving out a recording. They didn't tell me anything about a recording, and that's why this is a live session. At the end, we have a special offer. So if you can stick to the end, we're almost done the content here. We can start talking about what we have something special going on for you at the end. So be a little patient and we'll get to that. So I can't promise you the recording, Victoria. I'm not sure. But let's talk about wholesale really quickly for anyone who's still a little in the dark, okay? Imagine Amazon being a mall, okay? And then in the malls, you have different stores, right? People go and shop at these stores on Amazon, right? But in the stores, you'll find two different types of stores. You'll find brand stores and you'll find retailers, right? You have your Nikes, your Lululemons, your Apple, and then you have retailers like CVS and Walmart and Target. The difference between these is that the brand store is selling only Nike, only Lululemon, only Apple, whereas the retailers are selling products that people want. Big brand name products that simply people want, right? CVS might sell products now that are CVS based, but their whole business is to look at what people are buying and then make those products more available. Okay, they're in the business of making products available for what people want. Okay? We are retailers. That's exactly what we are. When we do Amazon FBA wholesale, we buy popular products that are already in demand and we make them available for purchase on Amazon. Okay, we don't create listings, we jump on the existing listings and we analyze to see what we can sell and how we can make money. Okay, we buy from distributors, wholesalers, and then we buy and sell in that same country. Okay, so that's exactly what we are. We're like CVS, we're like Walmart. Pros and cons of wholesale. Pros are we don't have to convince the customers to buy because they're already searching and buying those products. We don't have to advertise because we're meeting the demand. These listings already have reviews. The lead time is usually 2 to 3 weeks. It's very quick. It's not like buying from China where it takes a month to manufacture and then a month for you to actually ship. We stay lean and only buy enough inventory for 1 month, right? So not a lot of money on the line. We stay very lean. No import export, which is great. You don't have to deal with customs and you can do it from anywhere in the world. All you need is Wi-Fi, like me currently in Lisbon, Portugal. The cons of wholesale is that sure, you'll always be looking for new products, right? This is like a retail store, so we're always looking to see what people are buying. Can we find better products? Can we find products that make us more money? So we have to have a system in place. We have to have maybe a virtual assistant, like someone we hire, to help us find new products. These products might get saturated with other sellers, right? If I'm selling it, if you're selling it, if everyone else is selling it, then that's going to lower the price because we're all competing, right? That could happen. Products might become unprofitable over time. Okay, products might become unprofitable because, like I said, if there's a lot of people on the listings, then it will become less and less profitable, right? People are fighting over the price. Little control over the listing ownership. Okay, we don't really own the listing of Tylenol and stuff, so we're really just jumping on and off, but we're on there for the good amount of time. And if Amazon just then decides, oh, this listing doesn't work anymore, then we're gonna have to find another listing to go on. Okay, that rarely happens, but we don't own the listing because we didn't create it. Okay, and then control over the supply of the product. Sometimes there are shortages, sometimes there's supply chain issues, so that's why it's important for us to always look for new products as well. Because if the manufacturer of Tylenol or Head and Shoulders, if they're not able to give us the product, then we can't rely on those products and we don't have control over those products. The solution to a lot of these cons in terms of not having ownership over the listing, not having control of the supply chain, is to stay lean, right? And this is my model. This is not something I see in a lot of people, is that I don't like to hold more than 1 month's worth of inventory for any product, right? This allows me to diversify. This allows me to have different products, only 3 to 4 weeks worth of inventory, and have my capital grow a little quicker because I'm not buying 3 or 4 months worth of inventory and just waiting on the inventory to be sold. And then if something happens, then what? Then I have 3 months worth of inventory on my hand. We don't want that. We want to stay lean. Okay, let's talk about the two most important parts in this model. It's product research and finding suppliers. These are the pillars of this business. Okay, it's not rocket science. It's simple retail. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's a store. It's just online now. It's really just like what's new in Amazon. The reason why I'm able to do it, a 20-something-year-old, is because we're using tools like AMZ Scout to figure out exactly what people are buying so we can only invest in those products. We're looking at data. We're not a convenience store and trying to analyze people's purchases when they're in the aisles. Like, we can look at raw data and we can make such educated decisions now, and it's just so cool to be able to look at the data, see how many sellers have been on this listing. What was the price 2 months ago? What was the price 3 months ago? Is it at an all-time high right now? Is it at an all-time low right now? We can look at all these things and make an assumption and say, this is a good product. We should sell this. We should get in this right now. Okay. Can you expand? Someone asked, can you expand on not owning the listing? You don't create a listing on your own store. So yes. What I mean by that, and I'll show you when I share my screen. We're going to look at a product, and we literally are jumping on a listing that is already existing, right? So if you go on Amazon and you type in Tylenol, you'll see a listing for Tylenol, right? It might be a 24 pack, like a little bottle with 24 tablets in it. If you go into that listing, that is one listing. We jump on to that listing. We don't own that listing. We're creating an offer on that listing. Okay. We literally go on our Amazon account, we type in the UPC or the code, and we say, this is our price, sell now, right? So we become an offer. We give them our price and we become an offer on that listing, and people can start to choose our offer, and Amazon can choose to use our offer as the main offer for that listing. That's really the idea, is that we want Amazon to pick our offer to be the main listing for Tylenol, and then we could be making a slice of the pie. Let's get into the numbers, guys. I know a lot of people want to see the numbers. You know the concept now. You understand that we're a retailer. You understand that we sell big brand name products and that we're not creating our own products. We're simply reselling products that people want to purchase. But let's talk about the numbers, okay? What's an expected ROI when I invest, right? What kind of ROI can you see, return on your investment, when you say put in $1,000? Right? So me personally, I don't pull a trigger on products that can give me less than 10% ROI in a month. Okay, so if I'm doing my analysis and I'm like, okay, this looks like a good product, I have $1,000 to buy 200 units of this product. Okay, can it make me more than 10% of my $1,000? Meaning, can I go back home with $1,100? Right, so $1,000, and then 10% of that is 100. So the return on my $1,000 is $100. So if I'm not making at least $100 from my $1,000, then I'm not going to invest in it. It's just my money could be used somewhere better. Okay, and this is in a month's time, guys. Like, we're normally in the normal world before crypto came around, 10% ROI with your money was wonderful if it was somewhat guaranteed in a full year, right? But we're looking at it in a month, and that's the power of business. You know, businesses can make ridiculous ROIs. You know, crypto came around and was also making those ridiculous ROIs, but it's not reliable, right? Whereas business is business. People are always buying things. So right now in my catalog of my products that I sell right now, I have products that are doing 30 to 60% ROI. I even just invested in a product today that is on its way to Amazon, that is doing, I think, 110%. I think it was something ridiculous like that. So think about that. If I have $1,000 that I spent, and I spent on this product, I spent $4,500. So $4,500 on this product. It's the second time I'm ordering it. And in less than a month, it's going to make me 110%. So it's gonna make me more than $4,000 because I spent $4,000. So 110% more than that even. So I spent $4,500. I'm gonna get back $5,000 on top of the 4,500, right? So there are products out there. You can find them, but it's all about if you can do the research, if you can find the right suppliers. But on average, you know, there are, like, you can grow your money very, very quickly, and that's what's going to lead us into what I was going to say, into the $6,000 month. That's how you can grow your money. But let's talk a little bit about fixed costs in this business, because now you know that the margins are there. Okay, you can make money in this business because you're buying products at a low and you're selling them at a high. That's the name of the game. Let's talk about the fixed costs in this business. What are you going to be spending? What are your expenses? Okay. Amazon Seller Central is your number one thing. $39.99. This is your selling account. There's no way of going around this. You need this. The second thing is AMZ Scout tools. Okay. AMZ Scout is why we're all here. AMZ Scout is going to give you a super, super sweet discount and deal on using them to do product analysis. Okay, incorporation is the next thing. Business email, internet phone, 1 to 2 virtual assistants. These are a few other things that you need to make phone calls, to look professional, to send emails, and to have a real business. When you're hiring 1 to 2 virtual assistants, these are the people that can help you do a lot of the legwork, a lot of the emailing, a lot of the application filling, a lot of different things that you don't have time for, or at least your time is worth well more doing different things. Okay. Your time is well worth doing more like jumping on the phone and calling and talking to suppliers rather than filling out applications. So you can hire someone from the Philippines for $4 an hour and they can do it for you. So we're looking at about $250 one-time fee for incorporation, and then about $100 to $200 a month on costs. And this is at like full maturity, right? Some people don't start off with virtual assistants. Some people have their cell phone they can use instead of like an internet phone because they're based in the US or whatever country they want to sell in. Some people already are incorporated. So this is like at full maturity, you'll spend $250 and about $100 to $200 a month. Okay, guys? Let's talk about AMZ Scout because that is one of the expenses that you'll be spending. And I want to show you exactly what they offer. They have this tool here that is specific to wholesale, and it helps us be able to do profits, be able to look at different products to analyze, to be able to look at the revenue of the products, to be able to make those smart decisions that I was telling you. Okay, they even have like again, they have all these things that are super super interesting in terms of niches and in terms of research that you can look into that actually helps you understand what products are doing really well. Okay, Sam asks if the brand is presented on Amazon, how can I join it? Well, I can show you again once I share my screen. When a brand itself is on Amazon selling the product, then we probably actually don't even want to sell it. And I'm going to show you there's a difference between a brand on the product and the brand being a seller. Okay, I'm going to show you that in a bit. There's a lot of questions here that's coming up, and I want to make sure I address all of them. Let me just get through the slides here and we can get right into the questions as I share my screen as well. So AMZ Scout has some of these great tools where you can look very quickly and analyze product by product. You can simply scroll through Amazon and already get quick like margins and understand how much something might cost and how big the product is. Is this something that might be oversized? Like they have a lot of analysis that helps us make those smart decisions, right? Especially this profit calculator here. You know, we can understand, okay, if a supplier gives us a product for X amount after fees, are we able to make some money? Is this even something we want to make money off of? Like, you know, because Amazon takes a hefty chunk. They take 15% for you to just put the product on Amazon, the website, and then 15% for them to store it and ship it and pack it and accept returns, which is the FBA portion. So in total, they take about 30%. So instead of you having to do this mental math and be like, the price is at $30 and Amazon takes 30% and I can buy it at X amount, like these calculators are such big time savers and they're on every listing for you to be able to quickly punch in numbers and see if a product is profitable. Outside of that, we have this, which is a super, super important tool. This is what tells us the revenue. Okay, if anyone here is from my TikTok channel, you've seen me dance in front of products and tell you, hey, this product is doing $75,000 a month in sales, and you can take a slice of that. How do I see that data? How can I make sure that that's the case? It's with tools like this. The revenue calculators, they estimate how much money a product is doing per month. And it's super important because that's the size of the pie. We need to understand how big the pie is and if it's even worth getting a slice of. Another thing that AMZ Scout does that I've never seen nowhere else is they actually have a product score for reselling. So they compare every product in here. Like, let me go back really quickly. Right here, right? This in this red box, outside of revenue, which is on the right here, you can see estimated revenue. But in the left box, they actually have these scores that can quickly give you like a thumbs up or a thumbs down to tell you, hey, this is a good product for reselling based on sales and competition. Okay, if something has high sales, has low competition, then naturally that's a great position to be in, right? If something's doing $100,000 a month in sales and there are only 5 people selling that product, and you come in and become the 6th person, in a very general and holistic view, if you take an equal size slice of the pie, then you're taking home like, 18,000 a month in sales, right? So AMZ Scout Pro can quickly tell you like, hey, like, make sure you don't miss this. This is a thumbs up from us. So that's an interesting one. AMZ Scout's product database. This is a way for you to filter in a category you might be interested in, right? I get everyone to pick a category initially to just focus on, right? The world is so big with Amazon, and in the world of Amazon wholesale, we can sell anything. We can sell appliances, we can sell musical instruments. As long as we find products, as long as we find distributors who are distributing those products, we can sell anything. It's simply just where do we start, right? We don't want to have analysis paralysis. We want to make sure we can actually sell something well. Um, Someone asked, how do you know that a certain product will sell? So that's the analysis that we do, right? So we look at demand. We look at the let's say very quickly, and I want to show you in a real life example, but like the revenue, right? Like a product, that's the first check. If a product is doing only like $2,000 a month, then it's not selling well. But if a product is doing like 2 million a month, then that's definitely selling well, right? And then we go deep to see other things like how many sellers are on there. Has it been selling 2 million a month consistently, right? So we look at these factors. There's a checklist that I've created, right, that can really help you do this. Someone else asked, what do you advise to sell online, to sell only in my country of residence or sell in the nearest countries as well? Should I have separate LLCs in this case? My advice is start with one country. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. There's a lot to learn. And if you start to like diversify in different countries, then you're not going to do well in one country, right? It's the same thing with focusing from before. Like start with one country. And then if you do well or if you don't do well, then you can different country. I have friends in California who are doing 5-6 million a month in sales in the grocery category. And even them, I messaged them the other day actually, because I'm here in Europe and I'm like, hey, have you thought about expanding to Europe? Like, I've seen a lot of good opportunities here. And they're like, we can hardly keep up with the US market. Even thought about Europe. And I'm like, hey, like, let me do your Europe, you know, because they have all the connections. They're doing really, really well. And, they're doing 5-6 million a month in sales. Like, if I'm like, hey, let me be an asset to your company and like, let me help you expand to Europe, like that's great too. That I'm never going to say no to that because I'm an expert now. I know what I'm doing and I'm sure I can bring value to them. But they're at a very, very high level, and I love seeing that. So my advice, focus on one, then as you get bigger, as you grow familiarity, go into other countries, which you potentially will need to have different incorporations for each country. Maybe in Europe, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in the legal side of it, but maybe in Europe, because it's in the EU, you can have one EU corporation to sell in all countries. But in the US, you can sell in the US, but if you wanted to sell in Mexico, you would have to open up a Mexican entity, right? And I've looked into that. It's best to open up a completely new entity in Mexico. So every country has its nuances. Okay. Let's very quickly, let me share my screen, guys, because I know we've been here for a little while now. I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys. It's, we're getting tired here. I know you've been here for about an hour and a half now. So kudos to everyone still here. You guys are super, super loyal. And I hope you're learning a lot of stuff here, but I want to show you what a real example looks like. I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I look at a listing on Amazon. I want to share my screen here. Let me just pull up the listing, I think. If there are any final questions, I'm going to start answering questions after this. Once we get into our special giveaway and bonus to you guys for everyone still here, I'm going to answer everyone's question in as much detail as possible. So if you have any questions regarding the model, regarding me, if I can help in any way, any personal questions, feel free, write them down. I'm going to go through all the questions. I'm not going to end this webinar until I do go through all the questions, guys, because I'm here to help. I'm here to help, even though it's 1:30 a.m. here. I am here to help. There's no way I'm going to run off, but let me share my screen as you guys ask more questions here. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen. This here is a product by 3M. Okay, 3M is like that tape company. They sell a bunch of different things. They innovate a lot. And this is like a trauma skin tape product. And this product here, you can see it's called NextCare. So that's technically the brand, right? But we all know 3M is the manufacturer. Okay, so you can see visit the NextCare store. So like someone asked, hey, like what do you do if the brand's on the store? Right? So visit the NextCare store. Like this doesn't mean the brand is on the store. This means that this is just showing you that the brand sells other things. But if we look on the right here, we can see add to cart, we can see buy now. Okay, we can see that product movement is the seller. Okay, the seller is not NextCare. It's just another third-party seller like us. We are someone like product movement. Product movement could literally just be us. Underneath this, we can see that there are 7 new offers. These are 7 other people selling as well this product, right? So this right here, let's open up the, what is it? I think, yeah, let's open up this extension here to look at the revenue of this product. Okay, we can see here, this at the top here, NextCare, we can see it's got a 10 out of 10 product score for reselling, so that's a great thumbs up. Okay, and if we go over to the right here where it says estimated revenue right here, we can see it's doing $37,000 a month in sales. Okay, so when someone asks how can we tell a product is selling well, that's the first step, right? We get the thumbs up from Amazon Scout, and then we also see the revenues, $37,000 a month in sales. That's great. $37,000 is the full pie. Okay, that's the full pie. If we want to see what our slice could be, we would have to just do a bit of math. If we see that there are 7 sellers on this listing, and we're going to be the 8th if we came on, then it would be about 37 divided by 8, right? Which gives us about $4,500, about, let's just say $4,500 per seller. If everyone is equal, if in a perfect world, everyone is getting a slice of the pie in an equal way. But here's the thing. These sellers are not all equal. Everyone is optimized a little differently, and that is what I do differently. I look at the data, I look at different sellers and see what they're doing wrong. What can I do to be able to make more sales? Because ultimately, these 7 people, no one is going in here to buy from these other 7 people. Like, how many of us have just literally not even seen the new 7? Like, how new is this to anyone here? Right? Like, most of us literally just hit add to cart and buy now. That's it. That's what we do. We don't look at the other offers. And so these 7 people are not hoping for people to get into there and buy from them. These 7 people are hoping for Amazon's algorithm actually to choose them to be this seller. This is called the buy box. Okay, this is called the buy box. All of these sellers are wholesale sellers, and they're all competing against each other to be in the buy box, which is here. Currently, product movement has the buy box. Okay, product movement is the seller that is making most of the sales. They have a big slice of the pie right now because 80% of people, if not more, simply hit add to cart and buy now, and product movement is the seller in this box right now. So the name of wholesale is, how do we get to this box? How do we compete with all the sellers here to be in the box here? Okay, and so I just showed you with AMZ Scouts Pro tool, you can see very quickly on what the revenue is, and then this profit calculator here that's blurred out for me right now because I'm not logged in, can give you the ROI and margin right away if you just plug it in. Okay, you can literally plug it in on any product you're looking at. So, there's a few other things that I teach to look into, obviously, but very overshadowing. Like, we want to look at if the product's doing well, if it's selling well, what the revenue is, and then check profits. We want to make sure we make money, right? So that's super, super important. Another thing that I wanted to show you with AMZ Scout is their actual tools inside of their actual dashboard, because they have all these awesome Chrome extensions. But you want to like go into their dashboard as well. And what I wanted to quickly show you was some of these super, super cool features and reports that they do, like garden and outdoor. Like, they've done niche searches where you can literally dive into these reports. And I think what they published, yeah, like a month ago, 2 months ago. And you can look into these reports to understand just like data. Like, they collect so much data that they can actually show you this data to be able to make smarter decisions, right? Like balcony fence cover, who would have thought? So like giving you these niches to be able to then go into this category, look for a big brand name in balcony fence cover, and then reach out to distributors for this balcony fence cover, because these are like suppliers. Like, you can find suppliers for these products. Just got to find the big brand name stuff. And knowing that most people are buying this and it's at like an uptrend, you can absolutely take advantage of like their reports and their data that they collect to be able to actually make educated decisions on what to resell. Once you have the knowledge of how to resell on Amazon, you can sell anything. You can look at these trends and jump on trends. You can, like, literally, I was selling flashlights, like, I think it was a year ago, and they were just selling like crazy. And I did not anticipate the craziness. I thought it was going to sell well, but it just started to sell like crazy. And I started to realize that Louisiana had a hurricane around the time I was selling flashlights. And so if you put two and two together, like, you're literally like, holy crap, like, people need flashlights because they don't have power because of the hurricane. So if you have the knowledge of how to find products and know of things happening, you can literally just in 2 or 3 weeks get those products into Amazon because you're buying from people in the same country, and you can make money by being very quick, right? Same with these trends like Tamagotchis. Like, what? Like, I haven't seen these in forever. So you can take advantage of these reports to see what's up and coming again. You can see the charts that AMZ Scout's able to actually data mine and be able to give you to see. Let's get back to the demo here. I think I showed you a few things that AMZ Scout is super, super unique at. Okay. So I just want to quickly show you the 6K months in profits here, because a lot of you have obviously been wondering how you can get to 6K months in profits, right? Some of you have been saying revenue. I mean, sure, I think getting to revenue you can do with like $1,000, but I want you to make 6K in profits, okay? Because that is when you can quit your job, right? So I always get my students to start with $500 to $1,000 to get a taste of the process. Once you get familiar, you then want to start investing more and more. But initially with $1,000, like if you're making 100% ROI, you can grow that money fairly quickly, right? And if you're growing your money, let's say on average 30, 40%, right? You then put that money into the business and diversify. Like any business, you want to continue to put money into the business to let it grow. Okay, so the more money you invest, though, the more money you can make. Okay, finding higher ROI products can get you to 6K a month, no issue, and that's the goal here. With a 35% ROI on average, you would need to invest about 17K to make 6K a month. I want to be super clear here. You need to make you need to be investing 17K a month to make that. But if you start with $1,000, that's the starting point. With that, we can get to 6K a month revenue, no issue. But as you grow your money, as you become more familiar, as you're able to be more trustworthy in the tools you use, in the knowledge you gain, you then are going to start wanting to pump more money into the game so you can make the amount of money that can help you quit your job. That's what we're aiming for here. Okay, so I want you to start with what's manageable. I want you to reinvest your profits into the business so you can help grow it. Because the goal here isn't to make an extra $500 or $1,000. Like, sure, that don't get me wrong, like it's great. But the goal here was freedom, right? Remember what we said in the vision chat a few when we talked about a few slides earlier, when we talked about how we want to be able to live financially free and travel. That is through quitting your job and being able to be your own boss, guys. So it takes money to get there, but it only starts with $1,000. Okay. Someone asked, how do we find these manufacturers, distributors, so we can buy from them? So you can do a lot of research. You can use Google. You can go into trade shows. But let me answer that question in a bit because I have a full list, hint hint, of 300 plus suppliers, right? But it's all research. But remember, the two lucky attendees that say at the end here will get access to my Google Drive that has 300 plus suppliers. And honestly, the supplier list is so long that I haven't even gone through all of them. There's no way my students have gone through all of them. There's just too many. Let's talk about the future of Amazon wholesale. Okay. People are buying stuff. If you want a business that's recession proof, it's Amazon because people are buying stuff. People are always buying stuff. People always need makeup. People always need shampoo. People always need stuff to live, right? This is why this business is recession proof because it's only going to grow. People are only going to get better and better at buying stuff online. They're going to get more and more familiar. Your phones are becoming great sources of buying stuff. In the next 10 years, you'll be buying stuff off of VR, right? So as things become more familiar, as the internet becomes even more a daily thing in our lives, you know, it becomes even more of an opportunity. Okay. And as you become an expert, you approach brands directly to become an exclusive vendor. And then we're talking a money printing machine because you will have exclusivity for that brand. Okay. A lot of brands need Amazon experts. So if you can start flipping products, become an expert, and then become exclusive brands, you'll absolutely crush it. Okay, I want to fly through these because I want to get to the end here. Launching a new country almost every few months. Okay, Amazon is doing this. It's crazy. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, some people ask, is Amazon saturated? Is Amazon still worth it? My answer is yes. It is saturated, but with crappy sellers. That's a workaround, but it is. Amazon is saturated with people who are very short-term minded. Remember what we talked about. If you have the right mindset, the tools, the guidance, you can build the business and be different. You have to have the right mindset. A lot of people are on Amazon and just trying to make money. They get a little sad because they're not looking at the data. and they jump off. So yes, it's saturated with really bad sellers. Guys, here we are. We finally made it. Are you motivated to start? Are you motivated to start selling on Amazon? I really hope that I just shown you what it is to sell on Amazon and what it is that I do. Like what it is that I do every day here in Lisbon, when I'm going to Italy, like when I'm traveling, like these are the things that I do. I find manufacturers and distributors, I find good products and I sell them and I make money and I live. I hope you're motivated to do the same thing. I hope you're motivated to take a step forward to be able to do exactly that, right? So I want to quickly share with you, these are the things that I do. These are the things that I can help with. I do one-on-one coaching. I do okay, but let's not bore you with that because I want to show you why you're here in terms of what is offered to you guys here, especially specifically to this workshop. But what's included in my workshop is a lot of stuff. It's how to set up legal stuff, how to set up your banking, how to stay away from products and brands that can suspend your Amazon account. Okay, these are now specific things that I want to make sure that you don't miss because if like these are the things that I had to learn the hard way. So I've looked at all the things that I've had to learn the hard way and put them into how I can help. Okay, how to look professional, how to find the products, how to go through this checklist that I've created. It's super important for you to not fall into these traps. Okay, and I've put it all into a 6-hour live workshop replay that has helped a lot of my students here get to where they got to. Remember that. Like, there's a reason why my community is doing well, and it's because I'm super genuine with what I've learned. I want to help my students, the people who join my community, I help. Okay, you can even see in the community there's 7 pinned messages at the top. And every time there's a case study, every time that I learn something, every time I do something wrong, every time I make a mistake, I go into my Telegram group and I tell everyone what I did. I tell everyone of a new learning. I tell people in my community, hey, like this new tool just came out, I'm using it and you should too. And I pin it and I make sure that you check it out and I make sure anyone else in it checks it out as well. My students here, this guy right here, unreal. After about a year, he opened up his own warehouse, right? He made a video for me to show. It's on YouTube. But he opened up his own warehouse and is now selling products not from his warehouse, but they prepare it for Amazon at his warehouse, right? And he's been with me for a year. He's a great case study, and honestly, I'm looking forward to making more case studies. So that's kind of my goal here. So I want to show you here. I think Sam asked, what exactly would be in your training? Will I be able to start my Amazon business right after? So my Amazon training, let's quickly look back at it as well. It's literally the things that I do today, right? It's how to do products research. How can we dominate that buy box we were looking at? And what is the product research checklist that I go through? How do we find suppliers? How do we look professional? How do we call them? In the Google Drive, there's a script. I show you exactly what it is that I ask and a huge FAQ of what they might ask you and how to answer it. Okay, so absolutely, when you learn this, you can start selling right away. And because you're going to be in my private Telegram group, like you can ask me anything along the way, but absolutely, this is a 6-hour live workshop that teaches you literally how to start selling right away. But I want to share that this bundle that I have going on with AMZ Scout right now is not just the workshop. It's the workshop with 2 Amazon Seller Central courses that I've created. This will help you navigate Amazon Seller Central. Because if you're new to Amazon Seller Central, you have no idea how to use it. It's super hard. It's super complicated. So I've created these courses for you to understand how to use it and how to use it like a pro. There are golden nuggets in each of these. Okay. There are Amazon Seller Analytics course. There's a analytics tool that I use that I have to always look at to look and understand if a product sells well. This is super, super important outside of revenue, outside of profit, we need to look at other things. We need to look at, like I said, number of sellers. If the price is at an all-time high, is the price at an all-time low? Is the ranking and the revenue, is that stable? Is that something that's been around like for a while? Is that something that we can trust? So there's a full course that is highly rated actually, along all of my students. A lot of my students give me great feedback on the analytics course. They love that one. Outside of that, it's the mindset courses. Everything we talked about earlier today, I put them in a few videos for you guys to look over. Again, I'm a huge just advocate of mindset. So you can learn more about time management and the tools I actually use to manage my time. What to-do lists do I use? What softwares do I use to actually manage my time and set my goals? I think it's super important when you're building an online business. Your whole life is going to be on your computer. Okay. Outside of those things, outside of the training, you're going to get the private Telegram group and the Google Drive. Okay. And this is actually something I've never done before. Like the private Telegram group and the Google Drive are actually not given with my workshop. These are my one-on-one coaching students. These are the people who I mentor week after week for 3 months. Those are the people that get access to the Telegram group and the Google Drive. So with AMZ Scout, they're like, Nick, you got to do something special. If you're going to teach them, if you're going to show them Amazon wholesale, like let's do something special. And I said, look, I'm going to give everyone at AMZ Scout, if they're here till the end, I'm going to give them access to the Telegram group where my coaching students are, as well as the Google Drive for life. Okay, like for life. Like as I add more things to the Google Drive, you're going to have access to that for life. As I add more suppliers, you're going to have that for life. Even my coaching students don't have that. My coaching students, after 3 months of coaching, they have to pay $149 a month to be part of that. They'll be part of the Telegram group, but not the Google Drive. And so that is something that AMZ Scout pulled out of me. I'm not sure how they sweet talked me into that, but I figured I'd just, motivate anyone who's here to get into that because it's a one-time thing, guys. Like, that even saying it out loud, it's a little ridiculous to be honest. But hey, I've said it. So guys, this is my bundle here, the 6-hour workshop, the seller analytics courses, the 2 seller analytics courses, seller account courses, excuse me. So it's like 3 courses in total outside of my 6-hour training. Amazon seller mindset courses, which we talked about, which goes into a little bit more depth. The private Telegram group, which you'll be a part of for life, as well as the Essential Box Google Drive, which you'll be a part of for life. So on all of this, you'll be obviously a part of for life. You get all of this, and it's valued at $18.94, right? And let me tell you, we've brought the price down a lot more. Someone asked, what exactly would you be in your training? Would I be able to start off Amazon? Yeah, I answer that, Sam. Do you trust AMZ Scout's score on products, for example, when it gives you a 9 out of 10? That's a great question. I don't trust it and say, yes, let's go sell this, but it gives me a great indicator. It's like a thumbs up. It allows me to really quickly look at everything and be like, oh, low competition, high sales, great. Let me look more in depth, because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to quick indicators, and that's what software is so good at. It's to save time, it's to help you do things faster and quicker, right? Like, I don't want to look at products all day, every day. Tools like AMZ Scout will help us look at it and be like, good indicator, focus on this, don't focus on these. That's really the importance of all these tools. William asks, if I come to the course, will you take a look at my product idea and recommendations if I'm wrong with my choice? This is something that you can do in the group chat, okay? But if you don't feel like sharing it in the group chat and private Telegram group, then you can message me privately. Like, I'm pretty chill. If you have like one product and you're like, look, I'm looking at this and I want this, I really want to invest in this. Nick, what do you think? I'll message you back. I'll message you back. So, you can absolutely ask me a question privately on Telegram and I'll message you back. Otherwise, the private Telegram group that's what it's for. It's for us to be able to help each other out. Okay, so let's look at AMZ Scout. This tool alone for wholesale is $3.99. those reports that I was telling you about apparently are valued at way, way higher. And it makes so much sense because they're literally going month by month and pulling in data for you guys to be on top of trends, on top of like ideas, on top of what people are searching. So literally, like their whole bundle outside of even mine, it's $2,597. Like that's actually like pretty nuts. Like it's crazy value. So like let's now put it all together. If you were to put AMZ Scouts bundle and my AMW sellers bundle together, you're talking about a course and a workshop and a tool that would cost you almost 5K. Okay, who has 5K to spend right now? $5,000. I mean, if you didn't come to this webinar, you'd be spending $5,000. That's what it is. Okay, and here's the drop of the mic, which honestly leaves me speechless because this is not something that I'm used to. Um, AMZ Scout and I are giving you my lifetime Google Drive that I'm still a little anxious about, and my Telegram group, and my workshop, and their tools for $697. Like this is a crazy, crazy, crazy deal, guys. And I want you to know that this is only today. This is like a webinar only. You guys stayed here till the end, so kudos to you guys. This is something that literally, yes, it's $697 for the whole bundle. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. I think there. Oh, I'm back. Looks like I lost my internet connection. Are we still? Is everyone still here? I hope everyone's still here. So, guys, sorry about that. I lost my internet connection. Um, I froze. Yeah. So, guys, literally, like, I'm gonna show you here this as well. I think we have a 10-day money back guarantee. Thanks for awesome. You can hear me now. Super, super cool. So, guys, we have a 10-day money back guarantee. If this is something that you look into and you're like, you know what, I'm not really into it, I don't really like it, this is not something that is what I thought it would be, then you get your money back. Like we're not trying to put one over you or anything. Like, I want to make sure that you can actually take advantage of this deal today. Okay. And yeah, William, if you scan that QR code right now, you can purchase right now. That's the whole idea. I want you guys to take advantage of this deal by scanning that QR code and get it going. Like get into the workshop, get the AMZ Scout bundle, and get started with your adventure in this world. Okay? Like get going. Like the whole idea of today was to be able to show you what I do and how you can do it as well. Okay? Like literally being able to start your own Amazon FBA business is around the corner because everything I do today right now is in that Amazon FBA wholesale course. My team and I are buying products day in and day out, and I put all of that knowledge into the workshop. And as you learn, as you're able to grow, you're able to actually go through the private Telegram group and actually ask me things and be able to ask me as you grow. Okay, so let me answer some questions now as we're still um, going through this workshop. Scan the QR code to go into the offer and actually take advantage of it. But we have a question that says, is this bundle for life or annually? This bundle is annual, if I'm not mistaken. AMZ Scout will give you their whole tools for a whole year. So this bundle is for the whole year, if I'm not mistaken. I think AMZ Scout will answer that. Yeah, yeah. So my stuff is for life. AMZ Scout is for the year. Okay. Let's answer some questions here. Let's see. Hmm. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so it is annual. But I actually don't see the questions anymore here. So AMZ Scout, if you can maybe send me some questions to answer, that'd be great, because I think it's because I got disconnected. But if there's anything I didn't answer, guys, please message me right now, because I want to answer any of the questions you have right now regarding anything. I'm going to be your only source of information really around wholesale. I want you to understand anything that is unclear. Okay. Does this include one on one time? This does not include one on one time in the workshop, but I am offering a group live session for everyone who gets on this after about a month, right? So once you're in the Telegram group, I'm going to make sure that you learn and that you're taking the workshop. And then in 4 months, or sorry, in 4 weeks, in 1 month's time, I'm going to say, hey, everyone who signed up from the AMZ Scout webinar, we're going to have a live session. Let's answer some questions. Let's see how things are going. So I'm going to do a live session with everyone who takes advantage of this offer right now. Okay, so we will do a live session. It's not one-on-one, but it'll be a group session with everyone who takes this workshop. Someone asked how much inventory and items to start. So in this business, I get people to start off with like $800, because I want you to start lean. I want you to like learn the process. So we buy like 40 units of something, 50 units of something, and we send it to Amazon and start selling and making money, right? 40, 50 units of something that sells well will last you about 2 weeks worth of inventory, right? This is all for you to get a taste. This is all for you to understand what it's like and grow like that comfy level, grow that level of comfortability, okay? And then scale up, like get to the numbers where I'm at. Someone asked, no violation of Amazon rules. Do brands complain about selling their stuff? So smaller brands that, have a really good eye on a lot of products, they might complain, and that's okay. Like they might not necessarily complain to us, they might complain to Amazon, or they might not even sell their products to us, right? And that's okay. We look at products like big brand name products, because Dove and Head and Shoulders and Tylenol, these products that I've been mentioning, these products, they're sold by Johnson and Johnson, and these businesses are not in the world of selling directly to consumer. They're selling to retailers. That's their business. Our business is to sell to consumers. So we are the retailers. Okay? So a lot of brands don't complain, some brands do. It's just about finding the happy medium, but it's not about complaining. It's like, will brands even sell to us? If brands sell to us, then there's no issue, because we tell them we're online sellers, right? So it's not a big deal at all. If I'm moving in August to the US, could I start in Israel now? Great question. Absolutely, you can. I would start with a LLC. Someone else asks, do you need an LLC for wholesale? So yeah, I would start with an LLC. So both questions answering at the same time. Start with an LLC based out of the US, and then have a virtual address in the US, right? When you open up an LLC in, say, Delaware or Wyoming, you can find these registered agents, which again, these resources are in my Google Drive. I show you exactly how you can open up an LLC and get a virtual address. And this is how you're able to be anywhere in the world, right? I have a virtual address in the US, and anytime I get mail, anytime credit cards get mailed, anything that needs to be done through mail, it goes to my virtual address. and it gets scanned and then it gets emailed to me. So it's as if like I have someone at my home scanning my mail. Like it's super cool. It's super futuristic. So you absolutely, I would recommend if you're going to move to the US, open up an LLC, get a virtual address, have everything just based in the US, and it doesn't matter where you are now and where you'll be. Shamir asks, is there an issue of being gated on Amazon with wholesale model? There's no issue, but you will be gated. You will be gated with products, and you just need an invoice to be able to open up the category. You just need an invoice from your supplier, show them that you're legit. You didn't just buy this stuff from a garage sale, that you're actually have that you're a real seller, that you actually have 30, 40 units, right? So a lot of this stuff actually we go over, like even ungating and stuff is in the workshop. So guys, like I want to keep urging you, like this is a only today deal. Scan that QR code, go to the offer, check it out. You have a 10-day refund if you really don't like the offer, but take advantage of it now because man, I'm telling you, this is a deal that is only going to happen today with AMZ Scout. This is not something that I'll be offering. Like, if you go on my website right now, you'll be able to see that I charge $9.95 actually. So it's a $4 difference, but literally for the workshop, it's that. So after this call, like, if you guys liked this workshop, and maybe in a week from now, you're like, you know what, like Nick was making a lot of sense, and like I want to be able to take those steps towards freedom and towards being my own boss and towards building a business online on Amazon, you might regret it. You might look back and be like, shoot, like that was a pretty great offer. And so I want you to definitely scan that QR code with your phone, check out that checkout page, go through with it. If you're feeling confident about yourself, if you're feeling confident about us working together, I want to see you in my community. I want to add you to my Telegram group and get on a live together, one on and the group one on, yeah, so us and the group, everyone in everyone who buys the workshop, for us to chat and see how far you've come and how I can help. Someone else asked, do we need a business license? So we don't need a business license, but we need a reseller's permit in the US. This has nothing to do with a license in the US of like me being able to sell or being allowed to sell. It's literally just a tax obligation. Having a reseller's permit allows us to not be charged tax from the supplier. Okay? The supplier is collecting a reseller's permit so they cannot be liable in case we don't collect tax from the person we're selling it to. But we don't even need to do that because Amazon does it. Amazon collects tax and sends it to the IRS. If you're in a different country, then you have to look and see if Amazon collects it. Because in Canada, they just recently started to collect it in a lot of the provinces. But you don't need a license, and it just depends on what country you're in. But these are logistical stuff that are pretty easy to understand. It's like any business, right? Like you could be a convenience store, you could be any store, physical store. It's all the same rules because we're simply reselling products. Question from I've set up my LLC in Florida, got my Seller Central ready. Now I'm confused about sourcing. So it's great that you have all that set up. Sourcing is the most important part. Finding suppliers and being able to actually analyze products. And that's what's in the workshop, right? So that's kind of the secret sauce. That's what separates me from other people. That's what allows me to do everything virtually and to be able to do things smartly through a checklist that I've created to be able to actually sell the products and sell only good products that don't stay in Amazon's warehouse. Okay, so guys, scan this QR code, find me in the community. Let's actually get a start on your workshop. I really do want you guys to start doing this. I want you guys to actually literally like start today. I want you to take advantage of this offer because it's something else. And I also want to ask AMZ Scout if we should do the giveaway already because I think it's about time. And I think we might have, yep, there it is. There it is for everyone who waited. Guys, the giveaway, okay? Let's do the giveaway really quickly here because we passed this and I wanted to bring it back for all the people who are still here. You guys are super, 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 super loyal. You've waited and super patient. Okay, so let's do this giveaway. Okay, private Telegram group and the Google Drive with the suppliers. Okay, so let's finally do this. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question and I want everyone to answer. Okay, so get ready. We're going to go to, I have my chat open, and the first person who answers it correctly, or the first two people who answer it correctly, you get the giveaway. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to have to answer it. So, are we ready? Get your thinking caps on because I'm about to go to the next slide where the question is. In 3, 2, 1. What is the second biggest Amazon marketplace after the US? The US is the biggest Amazon marketplace in the world. What would you say the second one is? I see some answers. I see some answers. And what most people are writing was my initial thought too, but you're being tricked because it changed a few months ago. I see Mexico, I see the UK, I see Canada, I see Europe. I mean, you got to be a little more specific than that. Guys, I still don't see the right answer. UK, Canada, India, Europe, Canada. Okay, we finally got one of the right answers here. Okay, we got it. We got it. Let me just make sure that no one before said it. But yep. Yep. So we have, who do we have? We have Rajat at yahoo.com who says Germany. And then we have Chris who also says Germany. Give it up to these two peeps. Germany's the right answer, guys. And I know, I thought it was UK too. And to be honest, UK was the biggest one for the longest time. But Germany took over. And this is because of Brexit. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. As soon as UK exited Europe, they were not part of the EU anymore, and so they were not the hub. Whereas before, UK was the hub for all of Europe. If you couldn't find a product you wanted in Italy, you'd probably order it off of Amazon UK. Whereas now, because of Brexit, Germany has become the hub. Germany is the big powerhouse and ships everywhere to Europe. If someone doesn't see a product they like off of their local Amazon, they buy it off Amazon Germany. I'm going to answer some more questions. We have a question from Vu. Which market is most potential by your experience? The best right now is the US. There's the most amount of consumers and, to be honest, the most amount of competition. But still, the amount of consumers always outweigh the amount of competition. So the US number one right now is the best. But what I've seen is that Mexico is growing, and Europe right now, because I'm in Europe, I'm seeing a lot of potential. I'm seeing a lot of a potential. Like knowing that the UK and Germany are the second and third biggest marketplaces after the US, like that's gonna mean something, right? So, Spain, which supplies Portugal, is a big one, right? That's the one I'm looking at recently. So I think these are all big ones. And once you get the knowledge from, say, from me, from the workshops, once you learn Amazon in any marketplace, you can use that skill in any Amazon, right? It's just logistics, right? Someone asks, do I need an LLC? Do I need a reseller's permit? These are just logistics that you'll have to figure out for any business in any specific place. Okay. Is it really possible to start earning 6K per month? Yeah, absolutely. Let's just say I make almost 3 times that. I can take home almost 3 times that because I've been at it for a while now and I'm doing bigger numbers. Okay? That does not mean that you can't, right? And it's crazy to think that, like, for me, maybe 4 years ago, like 6K a month is also like, whoa, and for a lot of people, it is whoa because that means you get to quit your job. But if you're able to make 6K a month and quit your job, then like the journey begins. If you're able to do this full time, you'll be able to triple that 6K a month very quickly because you now have 40 hours a week dedicated to this business, right? When you go full time with a business with anything, you grow exponentially. It's insane. So to get to 6K a month will take some work, get some diligence, and there's a learning curve, but absolutely you can get to 6K a month. And I showed you guys a little earlier. So, take advantage of this workshop because man, 6K a month, like is knocking on your door once you learn how to do it. It's all with the learning, remember? Learning, free up your time, then make more money. Sam asked, what would you recommend for any beginners? Any advice? Learning, time, money. That's my advice. Really, like it's simply just get your mindset correct. I think initially it's all about mindset. Make sure that you know it's possible. Make sure you know that you can do it. Make sure that you know that you can work past the amateur sellers that are saturating Amazon. If you believe and you have the right guidance, that's the first step. After that, it's about just doing it, taking action. Like so many people say that they're going to do it, or so many people say, "Oh, but this is cool, but I also want to do drop shipping, but I also want to, like I said, go do my real estate license, but I also, want to learn how to be a skydiver." Like there's just so much stuff that everyone wants to do. I get it. Life is about doing things, but you have to prioritize things. So I'd say anything in a beginner's mindset, like it's about it's about having long-term vision. It's about and that comes from self-development. That comes from reading books. Like there's a book called The Slight Edge. This is something that I want you guys to know. Like this Slight Edge is the book that teaches you about, long-term thinking. Okay. And a lot of my students have this mindset of long-term thinking because we go over it so diligently. So my students, that have the results of opening up their own warehouse and doing $18,000 in 7 days worth, like in revenue. These are the students that have these mindsets. These are the students that take the knowledge from the workshop and they're able to put it into action, right? Like my students are the ones that are speaking highly of the workshop, right? It's not me. I'm not trying to sell you on this. Look at my students, look at the testimonials. You can literally learn from them in the AMW Sellers Telegram group, right? Those are the people who are literally learning and taking action. These are the people that are taking action, right? And like to me, that's why I do this, is to see people change. It's to see people literally go from having a job and being stuck in a toxic mindset of like, will I ever, should I? And they take a leap of faith and then they're able to learn valuable skills. Amazon is here for the staying. Like you're going to learn how to sell products to people around the world. Like that's such a valuable skill, to take that skill and to put it into action and then make money and then wake up one day and look at your phone and be like, wow, I just sold 6 flashlights or I sold 9 vitamins and I just woke up. These feelings are a little life changing and are like chips on your shoulder. Like you'll want to sell more, you'll want to find more products. That's the motivating part, right? And so in my community, in the Telegram group, you'll be able to see people like that, find more motivation, But really, it's there for you to actually make this dream into a reality, guys. So make it happen, guys. Take advantage of this right now. Someone asked, when will we get your bundle once we purchase the offer? You'll get the bundle right after, except you'll get half of the workshop for the first 10 days, because in case someone wants to return the workshop, then it's just kind of cheating the system a bit on my end. So I want you to take advantage of half the workshop, see if you like it, see if it brings you value, see if the Google Drive is good, all that. And then after the 10 days, you get the second half, right? So I just want to make sure that we're being fair to both of us, because again, $697 for all of this is just crazy. So you'll get access right away. I want you to get started right away, but you'll get full access for everything for like the second half of the workshop after the 10 days. And then after 4 weeks, we will have the group session, a live group session, to answer questions, to see how progress is, to see if I can help in any other way. And of course, you can ask me questions on the Telegram group to tell me what's going on. And someone even asked if they can ask me about a product decision. And I was nice enough to say, yeah, you know what? Like, if I see you taking action, send me a message. Send me a message, show me the product. I can look at it. I can be like, you know what? Yeah, this is a good product. Or like, no, you know what? You're missing this. So I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty chill like that. So, obviously I'm super, super busy, but if people are taking action and I see that, and they're taking action because I told them to take action, I want to help. Like I'm never gonna say that I'm too busy. Okay, someone asked, how will we sell those high brands? How will we get approval from them? So it's already approved from distributors. Like, distributors are gonna sell to us, and we're gonna take those products and sell it on Amazon. Amazon will ask for approval, but we will give them the invoice from the distributor, from the authorized distributor. That distributor will essentially, with their name and their reputation, give Amazon the go ahead and say, these people bought from us, let them sell. And Amazon will just do their due diligence and they'll let us sell. Right? So it's as easy as that. Like, we don't need approval unless they specifically ask. But if we're able to buy products from distributors, we're good. It's just about finding distributors that will sell to us, and then we're good. It's a matter of just finding good invoices. Jacqueline says, sounds like the first part is just about setting up the business, which is information I need. How do I bypass the 10 days? You get the checklist in the 10 days. The checklist, the product research, is the checklist that I've created is in the 10 days, is before, in the first part. So it's about setting up your business, but it's also about the checklist, right? So you can absolutely get the checklist. You can get all that from my first half. The second half is also super important because it's about suppliers. How do you find those suppliers and what do you say to them? Because if you can't find the suppliers, then you really don't. You have half of the missing piece, right? You need the full piece to make sure that this happens. But the checklist is definitely, I'd say, huge. I'd say the checklist is my favorite part. That's the one thing that makes me stand out. So you get the checklist in the first 10 days. So take advantage of this offer because you'll be able to check it out, get that, and honestly, again, $697 for all of this, like that's a steal. It's a crazy, crazy steal. Let me answer a couple more questions, guys, and then I have to tune out because I am getting super tired and super hot. And I should probably get some rest. And hopefully, I'll see you in the community. If not, then I'll catch you on social media. But I really do hope that you take advantage of this offer because it won't happen in the near future. Let's answer a couple more questions. What's the technique used for FBA seller to get more benefits? I'm not sure what that means exactly. What's the technique for FBA sellers to get more benefits? Yeah, I'm not sure, like, what kind of benefits. So I'm going to skip that question. I'm sorry. Should I use PPC with wholesale selling model? You don't need to use PPC. You can if you want, but you don't need to. PPC is advertising. It's pay per click. You don't need to use advertising because again, we're meeting the demand, right? So I don't use advertising at all. If I'm selling a lot of a certain product and I'm winning a lot of the buy box, meaning I'm doing majority of the sales, then after a couple months, I'll say, yeah, you know what? I'll throw on some ads so I can even make even more money selling. But no, you don't need to do advertising. If done correctly, how much time and money will it take to have a profitable business? This whole business is about being profitable, right? This is not about building a brand and hoping that things work out 10 months from now. This is not about brand marketing. It's not about investing now and hopefully things will work out. We only invest in products that are profitable. We only invest in opportunities that are profitable. The slim chance that something goes wrong is like if a product sells slower than we anticipate. My whole thing is stay lean, sell only 3 to 4 weeks worth of inventory. If all of a sudden, in the time that we buy a product and get it to Amazon's warehouse, we find the products sell slower because there's more sales all of a sudden on the listing, it'll just sell slower, so it'll sell in a month and a half, right? But we only invest in products that sell well based on the data, right? Because we're reselling products that already have history on the listing. Okay. Someone asked, is this offer good until midnight Eastern time today? I don't think so, man. I think, or man or woman, I'm sorry. I don't know. Um, this is an only today deal. This is an only webinar deal. Like AMC Scout might come out later saying that, like, hey, like, this is something that we might extend for a few hours. I'm not sure. They haven't told me anything. They told me only on the webinar, and it says right under the price only today. And that's kind of the whole point of the webinar is that look, you guys have stayed all the way to the end, and I want you guys to take advantage of this while you can. Um, take advantage of this because this is a huge, huge value. Like from almost $5,000 down to 697. Like that's a huge discount. So, I think we're going to be on here for another few minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then I shall leave. So if you're on the fence, do it, check it out, because this is a crazy deal. Let me answer a couple more questions, and then we're out of here. How do we know manufacturers, and how do we contact them? So in my Google Drive, I have a full list, right? The 2 people who just won, they have access now. You guys can go check it out, but of course, you need to figure out how to speak with them. You need to figure out how to analyze their products. So how we can get US suppliers is either through lists, either by going through trade shows, either by Googling them, either by looking on your Google Maps. Honestly, if you have an uncle or an aunt who's in the retail business in any category, reach out to them. See if they have any warm intros that they can give you to some suppliers, because we're just leveraging Amazon. But at the end of the day, we're a retail store. We can sell anything as long as there's history on it and we can make educated decisions. But talk to anyone in your inner circle and see if someone can give you a intro to a supplier, because you are now a retailer. Once you learn the knowledge, once you understand how to sell stuff on Amazon, you can literally become an Amazon expert and be like, and I do this because it's like no one knows Amazon, no one knows how to use Amazon, even big brands. So you can become the Amazon expert after taking this workshop and selling and becoming familiar with it and becoming the expert, and people will come to you to sell stuff on Amazon. People will want to add you into their projects. Even if you want a job later on, like say you're here because you just want to learn how to work with Amazon, like you can get jobs because you're the Amazon expert. Like I can literally join any e-commerce startup, Amazon expert, and they'll pay me 6-figure salary because I know how to use Amazon like a pro. Right? So keep that in mind as well. Like you're paying here, or you're paying here to learn, right? You're paying, again, like, you're learning knowledge. This is such valuable knowledge. You're learning how to sell stuff online on Amazon to anyone around the world. So you can literally take this knowledge, if you decided not to start your own business, to just take it to a job and be like, yo, I am an Amazon expert. I can get your products on Amazon and optimize it and do well and sell it well, right? So remember, guys, this is the workshop that is heavily discounted with a 10-day guarantee. Like, you can purchase this right now, and if you feel safe, you can feel safe to purchase this right now, and then you can literally, if something comes up and you're like, oh, you know what, this is not what I wanted, then that's fine. At least you took advantage of the offer. So, this is your chance to start the business. This is your chance to start at a heavily discounted price. Start with the right value, with the right products, with the right support team, with the right resources, with the right tools like AMZ Scout to get going. Okay. Guys, I'm going to sign off here. I think we've had plenty of discussion here. I really hope that you find value in everything that we talked about. I'm just looking at some final stuff here. Could you please clarify what you mean so we could assist you better? Oh, this was AMZ Scout. Yeah. Yeah. So really, I'm going to give you like another 15, 20 seconds. If you're serious about this, scan the QR code. Let's get going. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining the webinar. I really hope that you learned what AMZ Scout does and what Amazon Wholesale is and what I do for a living, and how I'm able to travel the world and still be able to work and see the world, and just enjoy the summer in Europe. Like, it's such a beautiful continent. I really do hope that you guys can upgrade your lives, or at least get to the point where you're a little more free by learning and taking action in these types of things, because it's without this stuff, like, you know it's just not going to happen. If you're not able to take advantage of these offers and be able to kickstart your business and the things that you envision, then it's going to be tougher, and it's going to cost more, obviously, in the future. So, guys, I hope to see you in the community, or at least I hope to see you on my social. I really do hope to see you somewhere, maybe even in person one day. And if you have any questions regarding anything after this, if you're not part of the community, like I said, message me on Instagram. Feel free to DM me. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I could do anything better in this workshop. I'm always open ears to making things better, and learning, and obviously reflecting. So otherwise, check me out on TikTok for Amazon tips. If you still need time to learn and to understand what it is that we actually do, follow me on TikTok. You can see and get more information there. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope to see you soon. See you guys.